Minecraft farming is one of the most useful features ever, but it might seem a bit confusing at first, especially for beginners. So today, I'll be giving you guys the newest, shortest Minecraft 1.21 farming guide, which will show you tips and tricks on how to farm every crop in the game, and a secret farming trick which will almost double the growth of your crops. Let's get straight into it. To start your farming journey off, you're going to be needing an essential tool called the hoe. Basically, what this tool does is when you right-click a grass or dirt block, it will turn it into farmland, which you can then use to plant seeds on. And you'll need this tool to farm most crops in the game. Hoes come in 6 different tiers, including wood, stone, iron, gold, diamond, and netherite. And whatever tier of hoe that you want to craft, you'll also need the respective resource. For example, if you're crafting a stone hoe, you'll need cobblestone. If you're crafting an iron hoe, you'll need iron ingots, so on and so forth. There's not necessarily a benefit of crafting a higher tier hoe other than durability, so I'd recommend to just go with a stone hoe. To craft it, simply open up a crafting table and put 2 sticks and 2 cobblestone in a pattern like this. Now that we've figured that out, let's talk about how to farm some crops. Now, for most crops in the game, except for a few, which we'll talk about, you'll need a combination of water and farmland. Without a source of water near it, farmland will usually turn back into dirt, or if there's a crop planted on it, that crop will grow really slowly. Once you put a source of water near it, however, not only will the farmland stay, indicated by the soaked dark brown color, any crop that is planted on it will also start to grow faster. This, however, doesn't mean that you should spam water all over your farm. In fact, just one water source block can soak a 9x9 radius of farmland around it. So you don't actually need that much water, just make sure that any farmland you create has water at least 3 blocks away from it. And now, let's talk about another important thing, light. Skylight can light up your farm, but the light is only really strong during the day, so put torches for the nighttime. And if you're building a farm underground, you especially need to make sure that there are torches around it. If there's not enough light underground, you just won't be able to plant crops at all, so make sure there's enough. And now that we've covered how to properly set up your farmland, let's talk about the different crops you can farm, how to farm them, and the benefits of each of them. First up, we got wheat. Wheat is one of the most useful crops in the game. You can use it to create bread, a reliable food source, you can use it to trade with villagers, and you can also use it to breed different animals. To farm wheat, you'll need to first find some wheat seeds. You can acquire these by simply punching weeds in a grassy biome, for example a plains or savanna, or you can also get them by breaking fully grown wheat crops. Breaking one wheat crop can give you an extra 2 to 4 seeds in return. What I'd recommend is to simply count how many wheat crops you want in your farm, and then get half that amount of wheat seeds, and I'll tell you why in a second. Plant all your wheat seeds once you've acquired them. Again, make sure they are on soaked farmland. And now, the growth of wheat plants comes in 7 different stages. All you really need to know, however, is that stage 7, which looks like this, is when the wheat plant is fully grown and ready to be harvested. Once you harvest and replant the farm, you should have some seeds left over, which you can then use to expand the farm from there without having to punch more weeds. Next one's potatoes and carrots. Both can be used to breed villagers and pigs, and potatoes are also a reliable food source when baked in a furnace. Now, unlike wheat, there are no potato or carrot seeds. You have to acquire either potatoes or carrots themselves and then plant those. You can find them in a variety of loot chests, but the easiest place to get them is undoubtedly villages. There is almost always a small farm or two which you can just break and acquire the potatoes or carrots from, and just like wheat, breaking a fully grown crop can give you 2 to 4 extra in return, which you can then replant. Potatoes and carrots are pretty much planted in the same way as wheat on soaked farmland. They have 4 different stages of growth. This is what potatoes look like when they're fully grown, and then this is what carrots look like. Then we got pumpkins and melons. I'm combining these two since the way you farm them is pretty much the same. Pumpkins can be traded with villagers, can make pumpkin pie for food, and make jack-o'-lanterns. Boo! They can be found most commonly in grassy meadows. Sometimes there will be patches of pumpkins which you can break, and you can also sometimes find their seeds in different loot chests. Melons can be found only in jungles or in desert or savanna villages, and their seeds can also be found in different chests. Now, if you break either a pumpkin or a melon, before you can plant them, you'll need to first craft them into their respective seeds. For pumpkins, just place them in the crafting grid, you'll get seeds in return, and for melons, place a melon slice in the crafting table, and you'll get melon seeds in return. Now, planting pumpkins and melons is a lot different than other crops. The way these crops grow is they grow up and then they grow out like this. So the way I'd recommend to structure your pumpkin or melon farm would be something like this, where there's a line of water with 2 blocks of farmland on either side of it. Place the seeds right next to the water, and then when they grow, they will grow to the side like this, and you can simply just collect them from there. Don't break the stem, you don't have to replant it, it'll just grow a new one. After that, beetroot. This one can be used to make red dye, which is more useful than you think, and can be used to create beetroot soup, a pretty good food source. Just like potatoes and carrots, the best place to find beetroot is in villages, where there are usually beetroot farms. You can also find their seeds in different chests. And to farm them, simply plant their seeds on your farm, and this is what they look like when they are fully grown. And now we got the outliers. These 8 crops are not like the other crops in that they aren't planted on farmland and are farmed in different ways. First, sugarcane. You can use it to make paper, which has a variety of uses, trade with villagers, and make sugar. To plant sugarcane, you need to have either a grass or dirt block, or you need to plant them on sand. Sugarcane also needs to be planted on a block right next to a water source, so rivers and ocean shores are a great place to have a sugarcane farm. Sugarcane is fully grown when it reaches 3 to 4 blocks in height. Next, nether wart. This is a crop exclusive to the nether. You can only really find them in nether fortress staircases and bastions. They are needed for potion brewing. Nether wart plants grow on soul sand, another nether block, and while they don't need anything else to grow, placing lava near them can make them grow faster. This is what they look like when they are fully grown. And then we got cocoa beans. These are only found in jungles, and they can be used to make cookies, and brown dye, which can be used for trading. To plant them, simply place a cocoa bean on the side of a jungle log, and that is pretty much it. This is what they look like fully grown. And next, there are also sweet berries, which you can find in spruce forests. They don't require any farmland, and you can simply plant them on any grass or dirt block. Glowberries, which you can find in lush caves. These grow on the bottom of blocks and can be used to breed foxes, and are also a food source. Their plants will grow yellow circles on them when fully grown. Bamboo, which can be found in jungles and in shipwreck chests. They can grow on almost any dirt or sand type block, and can make scaffolding along with the bamboo wood. Cacti, which can be found primarily in deserts. They can only be planted on sand blocks and are fully grown when they reach 3 blocks in height. They can be used to make green dye. And then kelp, which only grows underwater in oceans. They can grow to any height as long as they stay within the water, and they can make dried kelp a food source. Finally, we got the torchflower and the pitcher plant. To farm them, you'll need to first get their seeds, which can only be obtained through sniffers. They are purely for decoration, so if you want more detail on that, since it is a bit lengthy, click on this video on the top right of the screen where I explain how to farm them. And one more important thing I should mention is that for all of these crops, you don't have to wait a lifetime. Bone meal is crafted with simply bones, and it can act as a fertilizer for these crops. Just right click almost any crop and bone meal will speed up its growth tremendously. And it's also instrumental in growing fungus blocks like crimson fungus, warped fungus, and mushrooms. Bone mealing nylium in the nether can make crimson and warped fungus farmable, and these fungi are the ones that grow into the giant trees when bone mealed again. Mushrooms come in 2 variants, red and brown, and they can be used to make mushroom stew a reliable food source. They spread most effectively in dark conditions, so make sure to farm them underground. They can spread on the surface with mycelium, however that is an extremely rare block found only in mushroom islands. Podzol found in taigas is an alternative. While mushrooms do spread like typical fungus, bone meal can grow them into giant mushrooms that can be harvested to get a lot more. Following that, let's talk about using the fortune enchantment to farm crops. Yes. For those unaware, Fortune is an enchantment that multiplies the amount of drops you get when you mine certain blocks. Now this is mainly used for pickaxes on ores, but it can also give you a higher amount of potatoes, carrots, and nether warts. It can also give you more melon slices when you break the block, let's say with a Fortune enchanted axe. For wheat and beetroot, it will simply drop more seeds, but besides that, it does work on almost every farmable crop in the game besides fungus, so always harvest your crops with a Fortune tool. Finally, you remember how I mentioned I would give you a secret farming trick to make your crops grow a lot faster? Well, here it is. And that is to alternate between planting a row of one crop
and another. Let me give you a quick example of this. I have this pretty big plot of farmland, and I want to grow both wheat and potatoes in it. Instead of just having one half be wheat and one half be potatoes, I'm going to make one row of my farm wheat, the next potatoes, the one after that wheat, and so on. This, as stated by the Minecraft wiki itself, will grow your crops much faster, and it'll allow you to grow a variety of crops at the same time while keeping your farm nice and compact still.
If you guys did enjoy this video, then make sure to drop a like and a sub, and as always, I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.